Hello. Hi, everybody. Elena's here. I'm a couple minutes early, but I just, I was here. How are you? This is our Tuesday live Oracle reading for the community, as well as a witchcraft Q&A where we just hang out and we talk with each other. So welcome. And let's see. Let me say hi to the people chatting in the box. The box. Callum, hello. Izzy, Elsbeth, Emerance. Wonderful. Hello. Welcome to Tuesday. Who else is here? I think that's it for now. Are they who? That's it for who's identified themselves. Let's say that. Hi. So, goodness, it's Tuesday. It feels like this week has been very, very long, and not because it's been awful or anything. Just it's been a lot. A lot has been happening. This last weekend, we had our Healing the Witch Wound virtual retreat, which was lovely and amazing. But this time, I definitely took some time to rest after. So there's that. Couple of announcements, and then we're going to run and jump into our Oracle reading and our witchcraft Q&A. Boxes have gone out. There are a couple straggling boxes that need to go out that should be going out today. We, surprise, put our mystery boxes on sale yesterday. There are some of those left. If you want a mystery box, jump on that now because they'll be gone. And that's on sale over at the Witch Store. So you go to thewitchesbox.com and there's a button at the top that says Witch Store. You go there and you'll see all the things that we have available. Because the other thing that we have a couple left of is the Dreamwork box, the Moon Mist Spray box. The Moon Mist Spray set and the Moon Mist Witches box. They're two different boxes. One has way more than the other. So we have quite a few of really just delicious, beautiful things on sale. But the mystery box is the big one, and we just had a lot of stuff, and now we need to sell it. So grab yours because I don't know when we're going to be doing another one. It definitely won't be until next year. So there's that. What other announcements do we have? We have, I think, one spot available for our live ancestral initiation retreat that's happening in a couple of weeks. I know it's kind of right around the corner for those of you who have to travel, but it's going to be amazing. So if you are really kind of feeling it, but you're not sure, jump on that now. I'll be sending out an email about that in the next couple of days. And what else needs to be talked about before I get into the things? Hi, Denise. Let's see who else is here. Claudia, hello. Camilla, Jamie, hello. Jamie, I sent you a little something in the email. I think it was yesterday. Barbara, hello. Sophia, hello everybody. Okay, you guys are all talking to each other. Hello. What else needs to happen? What else do I need to tell you? I think that's all that I need to tell you. Oh no, that's not all that I need to tell you. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time, is the live Witches Box Q&A for the Moon Mist Spray box. So there's that. And then Friday we have our live guided meditation. We're going to do another one as we do every Friday. So that's the story. I'm a little flat-haired today. I don't know what is going on with my hair today. It's kind of uncomfortable and convenient, but also weird to have like your face looking right back at you so you can like zhuzh. It's what it is. Okay, we are going to be pulling from an oldie but a goodie deck. I love this deck. We sent these decks out in one of our boxes, I don't remember when, last year, early this year. It's the Nick Bantock, there we go. The Nick Bantock, the Archeo deck. I love this deck. I love this author and artist. I've talked about this before. He's got a series of books from back in the day called the Griffin and Sabine Chronicles that I love. Anyway, so this box called to me, so we're going to be pulling out of this box, and this is the card that I pulled. There's a glare. So this is the Awakener, and as you saw from the cover of the box, this is a deck of cards based on archetypes, and the archetype that this card is the Awakener. And I love this card because here are the two questions that I'm going to give to all of you. What is it that is awakening for you right now? It could be anything. It could be a realization. It could be a new phase. It could be an ending. Like, what is awakening for you right now? That is question number one. It's important to acknowledge these things. And then question number 2 that comes from this card is, what is it that wants to really awaken in you that you are stifling or denying or pretending doesn't exist? So question number 1 is, what right now is awakening in you that you know of and that you're aware of and that is happening? And question number 2 is, what is it that really wants and needs to awaken in you, but you are pretending doesn't happen or doesn't need to awaken, or you're trying to avoid or pretend doesn't exist? Both ends of the spectrum there. Being aware of these things both gives us an opportunity to really analyze why we're denying something that needs to happen. And acknowledging the things that are awakening us in us gives us an opportunity to celebrate and to honor ourselves and to really dig into and sink into what that process really is. So number 1, what right now is awakening in you? And number 2, what is it that really wants to awaken in you, but you're denying or you're hiding from or you're trying to stifle? Like that. Right, Izzy? It's a big one. So this is the card. It's beautiful. His artwork is just, I love his artwork. I'll show you a couple more cards. I know quite a few of you have this deck because we sent them out. But what is this? This is the Alchemist. The imagery is just, I love it. This is the Arbiter. There we go. Really beautiful artwork. It's my steez. This is like, I have loved this man since the 90s. There it is. This is Demon. This is Dreamer. This is Duende. So you get an idea of the artwork. It's all very, I love this too. This is Siren. Siren came up for me in a reading that I had my dear friend Amy Jones do for me the other day. That's interesting. All right. Oh, I just dropped the card. So there is our reading. Let me see what is happening in the box, and then we can just dive into talking. Let's talk. Hold on. Also, really quick, I don't know whose comment I just saw that kind of kicked the memory up. The link to the deep dive for the September box that's in the mail now went out in all of your tracking emails, but I have yet to put it in the form. I thought that I had done that because I had checked out I put a little check next to my to-do list that I had done that. And then when I went in yesterday, I recognized, oh, it's not there. And then I got distracted and I haven't done it yet. So I'm chewing. I will do that today, but definitely watch the deep dive video, even if you haven't gotten the box yet, just so that it kind of preps you for the box. And there's a book in the box, which is great. In fact, I had it here. I don't know where I put it. I had the box or the book here to show you, but it's not here right now. I move my books with me everywhere I go. So this is why I'm always like, are they here? Are they not here? Are they in my backpack? Are they in my car? Are they in my nightstand? It's just, you know, it's a dance. It's a constant dance. Okay. Okay, you guys are saying hello to each other. Blah, blah, blah. I love it. I love it. Okay. I love it. You guys are sharing recipes with each other. Denise says, I got the ancestral medicine book you recommended this week. It's amazing. I know, right? It's so good. He did a really beautiful job. And like I said, I'm sure that I've said it here. I certainly said it over the weekend for our retreat that we had. If you get no other book ever again on ancestors, that is the one to get. And that's the one that can help you and carry you through like the entirety of your life. You really don't need another book. There are great books out there and I've read quite a few of them. And it is definitely worth it to read them because they come from different perspectives as well. But he is so thorough in this book that I really feel like if you didn't have any other book, this one is the one to get. Excuse me, let me see. Also today, I need to be out of here before or by 2 at the latest, my time. Oh my goodness, I'm like just kind of topsy-turvy with this box. What is happening here? hold on, let me, it is a fun deck. I love this deck. I love it. You'll be in France, Elba. I mean, France is kind of cool. You know what I mean? France is kind of cool. Oh, I have been doing that awakening and things that need to be. There's been a lot of changes happening. Wonderful. I mean, it can feel very jarring, but awakening and change is, you know, it's part of the path. Beautiful. As he says, I don't, so many things. Emran says, maybe that's why chaos is in the air. I know when you make changes, it stirs things up. Definitely stirs things up. There is also, I don't know all of the ins and outs. I would recommend checking out Chani Nichols. Is it Chani Nichols or Chani Nicholas? I think it's Chani Nichols. Her Instagram, but also her website, and she also has an app. There is a lot of planetary mambo going on in the world today. And for the next month, I think. The planets are doing a lot. So the energy's a little, it's always changing, and it's always something that we feel, but there's a lot of stirring up going on. And I think this is partly why this card came up too. There's like a need to stop hindering what needs to awaken. So you might want to check that out. Emran says, I want to say that the deck was in the November or February or March box. I know it was recent. It's recent, give or take, but I'm also kind of, I've been in this weird, my internal calendar is really wonky, so that like usually if I am in August and I think, oh, back to January, that's just recent. For whatever reason, it feels like it was 1,000 years ago, but it also feels like 2 years ago was really like yesterday. I'm a little, my flow is chaotic is where it's at. Camilla says, I think what's awakening in me is my life's purpose. What wants to awake is solving my fear of commitment. But it's an old root influenced by family dynamics, so it won't be quick. It's okay. You just, awakenings can be instant, and awakenings can be a long phase, a decade, a year, a lifetime, right? We have multiple layers of things that awaken in their own time. So that you know it, I think, is a really important part of the process. And sometimes when we know it and we name it and we talk about it, it speeds it up, because then you really can't ignore it, and the flow just keeps picking up momentum, you know? I'm so glad that you caught us too, Nicoletta. Welcome. Callum says, recently had an opportunity unexpectedly come up out of nowhere for something I have not been interested in before. Turned it down to focus on my current plan of going to culinary school. I can't wait till you get to culinary school. I think that that's amazing. Life has been chaos since. Interesting that it's been chaos since for you. But I can't wait to hear how that is for you when you go. Emran says, Camilla, it's okay, you're talking to Camilla. Cool. Brooke says, hi all, I'm a little late. No worries, to the party did the draw. Yes, I did draw the card already, so I'm sorry that you missed it, but you can totally catch it on the replay. I can show it to you though. Oh, maybe I can't show it to you because I buried it deep in the pile of things that I was sifting through. So never mind. I can't find it for you now. I'm glad that you're here, Curls and Pearls. Hello. Easy says, that is a difficult part. You realize that there are a lot of things that need to be done, but in the end, it is really up to us if we are going to do something about it. Yes. Sometimes we are in denial, or rather, I am in denial. So, I mean, I think that throughout the course of our lives, we're always going to be, or at some point in our lives, many points in our lives, we're going to go through periods of denial. It's part of the psychic process. It's part of who we are psychologically as humans. So this is one of the reasons why our practices are so important, because if we're doing something regularly, like let's say on the dark moon, or like let's say maybe on the full moon, as an example, sometimes people do it on their birthdays, it can be done at a certain time, but if you're doing it regularly, where I'm going to take a pause and I'm going to really do some deep inquiry about, is there something I'm really ignoring? Is there something that I'm pretending isn't really there, but it is? Is there a part of me that's really strong that I'm ignoring? Is there a part of me that really needs to be tended to that I'm ignoring? Am I feeling things that I'm ignoring and pretending that it's something else? Like, these are really important questions, because it helps bubble that stuff up to the surface so that we're checking in on ourselves regularly. Denial can be really easy, especially when it's something that's scary or uncomfortable, or like, I want to expand, but I really don't, like all those things, right? So our practices allow space for us to do this internal like cleanup every once in a while, which is important. Let's see. Emin says, COVID brain messes with the memory, something fierce. I'm not used to not being able to remember things, but it's slowly getting better. It's the healing process is slow. It's definitely slow. Curls and pearls. Speaking of that, I think my dark night of the soul is never ending in tips. Be gentle with yourself. Sometimes the dark night of the soul can be a long bitch. And so if you can slow your life down a little bit, if you can really focus on not engaging in anything superfluous. So like if it's noisy, if it's inconvenient, if it's like, I don't know, I'm doing this out of obligation, cut those things out. If you're doing shit out of obligation, other than the things that feed you, right? Like the job. But if you find yourself doing things when you really don't want to, or you're saying yes when you really mean no, try to cut as much of that out as possible, because you need to like preserve your bandwidth and your energy, because it takes a lot out of you. So to create some kind of comfort and buffer so that you can go through the thing that you're going through, which is probably going to be messy and grief filled and uncomfortable, try to make other things easier for yourself while you go through the really hard stuff. Other than that, you need to trust. The dark night of the soul can be like it can be a year, it can be like a whole, like I've known 1 or 2 people where it's like a whole 10-year period. I don't want to give you like discouragement, but it really, I think, has been for me in the past a teacher in get rid of what doesn't serve, but also get rid of the noisy stuff, because you don't have the energy for it. And you really, whatever energy or whatever bandwidth you have, you're going to need to really be conscious and present for what's going on with you. It really requires that. The other thing is that it, for me in the past, has been a time where I really turned to devotion towards the deity that I work most with, because that allowed me to feel a sense of comfort and a sense of joy, even though it was really bittersweet. So that might be something that you might want to look into, and get super simple, just the simple things. If you have to work, simplify your morning routine, simplify how you feel about work, simplify what you do at the end of the day. I know that when you have kids and littles and pets and things, and it can be really noisy and complicated, but try like the trim the fat so that you really have very, or less, at least a little less on your plate. Okay. Hi, Michelle. An awakening for me has been my longtime interest in herbs and their healing. So I just joined a professional herbalist school. Congratulations. That's amazing. Ooh, do you mind telling us what school it is? It'd be great to hear it. Callum says, expensive is what it is. 16,000 pounds for a 16-week intensive course. Yeah. I mean, specialty schools cost money for sure, but may you get the money and may you dive into that course and may you cook amazing food. I'm so excited for you. Yeah, studying herbs is an amazing thing for sure. Soon enough, yes, Callum. Home and Hearth, and I know Home and Hearth Cafe will be a thing. I can't wait. Oh my goodness. Tell me again. I know you've told me before, but I don't remember. I'm sorry. What part of England are you in? I don't know why for a minute I thought you were in France, but you're in England. Curls and Pearls says, that's the only thing keeping me sane is getting rid of stuff. Yes, and donating what my son and I don't use. It's going on about 3 years now. Yeah. And I think that what you could potentially find, is that when you're out of it, that clearing sets you up for like a I don't know that faster is the right word, but a more exhilarating return, because the terrain is clear, and then because you're going to necessarily make very different choices when you get out of that phase, you've got a clear terrain, so the different choices will be easier to move into, because there isn't a lot there that's pulling you in directions that are meaningless or that are there just to like drain your energy. So it's definitely part of the process for sure. Izzy says, one thing I'd like to share, when kids do crazy stuff, it is always a reflection of the parents. Is that an awakening or bad parenting? Is that awakening of bad parenting? No, I don't think so. But let me read that again. Okay, well, let me first start with I am not a parent. Never been. So there is a reality where good or bad or everything on the spectrum in between, a child does something, in a lot of ways, it's a reflection of the upbringing that they've had. Children are also amazing, but also messy in the sense that they don't have, probably for the better, the types of filters that we have around our own dysfunctions. We can mask our dysfunctions really well as adults. Sometimes we can't, but children are just out. And so when children are really chaotic, it's not necessarily a negative reflection of parents, but it's a reflection of the environment. It's a reflection of the energy that they're feeling. Yes, it can be a parental thing. Is it a bad parental thing? Or is it really that that's just what's going on in the family system? I'm trying really hard to get away from languaging that can be incredibly judgmental, because we're just all trying to get by. And so much of, we talked a lot about this over the weekend, and I kept thinking about it as the retreat ended and until today, that one of the conversations that we had, this is kind of veering away from the parent question, but it's still about the human question, which is, how do people do these horrible things? Like, what is going on in the world? How do you get to a point where you're a bad parent, or you're a bad human, or you're a bad friend? Like, what is going on there? And of course, the answer is that we're all hurting. We're all traumatized in one way or another. And some of us have the benefit and the privilege of being more conscientious, or finding the support that we need to be more conscientious and move our way out of our wounding. And some of us are deeply unconscious about the wounding that we carry, and necessarily then that flails out and leaks out to everything around us, the people that we know, the way we make life choices, the way we raise our children, right? And the children can be a really like big beacon that flashes some of what those dynamics are, even though everyone in that family system might be super unconscious about the dysfunction. Does that make sense? So bad parenting or just wounded people, you know? Sometimes it's really hard to make that distinction and stay on the side of compassion, because sometimes people behave in a way that's just like, what the fuck? You're doing nothing but causing harm in every direction. It's really hard to get out of that response and into, this is a person of deep wounding and they're really unconscious about it. Anyway, I don't know if that answers that question, but that's what I'm saying. And you have more to say, so let me see. Izzy continues and says, I mean, if I scold them for doing something wrong, I'm a bad person. And if I don't say anything, they think I don't care. Well, that's also like, I wonder how old they are, because you will go through a phase in your parenting where you can't do anything right, according to that. So that's probably part of it. I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to do? Sorry to be ranting, but that is what came to mind on this Awakening Oracle card. I don't know, but I'm opening it up to people who are parents who have gone through something similar, because my experience as a child of two parents is that there was and I'm sure most of us have had this experience, where there was a period of time, a very long one, where they were all wrong. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what they did, it was like I was blaming them for doing one thing, doing the opposite thing. You know, it can be a really tumultuous relationship. Michelle says, it is the East-West School of Planetary Herbology out of California. What a cool name. East-West School of Planetary. I'm going to write that down right now. Got a little pad today, so I don't have to write on little scraps of notes anywhere. So East-West, well, I lost you. Oh, School of Planetary Herbology. What? And obviously, I'm going to assume that you can take it online, is what I'm assuming. Or are you in California? Callum says, it'll be here in the UK somewhere. I currently live in Newton Abbot, Devon. Ah, yes. Okay, so we have someone in Devon. Okay, that's what it is. Alexis. Hi, Alexis. Elena, did you get a chance to? No, I did not, because I thought that I had a couple of books on paganism. And I don't. I couldn't find them. And I feel like I did. So I haven't really read anything solely on paganism. So I don't have a good recommendation list, because it's not something that I'm totally deep into, because so much of what I've learned and what we talk about in terms of witchcraft and even shamanism is so very pagan rooted. So I still have the Post-it note. I'm still going to look. But for right now, sadly, no, I don't have anything good for you. Yes, 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 Emirates. I think you're right. Yeah, I do a lot of back and forth. Got it. Not so much recently, but I have been to France on holiday last year. Oh, France is amazing. Hello, crafting my life. Hello, sorry I'm late. Hi, everyone. Hi, Elena. Hi, hi, hi. Yes, great retreat. Oh, I'm glad that you enjoyed the retreat. As soon as I have processed everything, I'd love to write you my feedback if you'd like. I would love that, definitely. And yes, you can use TWB email, and I will also be putting a thread in the forum for feedback. And specifically, actually, I'm going to be asking for some specific parts of feedback. This is not even relevant to this live, but I'm going to just say it to you now. Because what I'm going to end up doing is turning that into a go at your own pace course. And I already have a list of like a lot of things that I would change, include, and some things that I would take out. So I would love your feedback for sure whenever you're ready. Okay, hold on. Camilla says, when kids get crazy, it could be also be for something happening in school with their peers. That's true as well. But also there is just we're just troublesome children, right? Like part of our developmental process, and this I do know about because I went to school for this, part of the developmental process is that there will be a phase where when they're individuating, when children are individuating from their parents, it is a pain in the ass. Nothing is good. Everything is a constant like battle. You say yes, they want to say no, vice versa, and it can be incredibly difficult. Tell us how old your kids are if you feel comfortable telling us. Excuse me. Right. Curls and process sounds like you have a teenager or like a preteen. That's kind of what I was thinking too, just because that's just such the phase for it. But that individuation can be super challenging too when it's happening around 2, 3, and 4. That's where you have the terrible twos, because individuation happens in layers over different like over different phases of a child's life. Yes, Brooke, I saw that you joined the Moon Ritual Coven. The next ritual will be the September full moon, right? Yes, it will be. Emirates, Mama Causes. All right, so we've got some resources for parenting. It is an online course with live online Zoom meetings. Wonderful. Hi, Jacqueline. Welcome. Hello, hello. Michelle says, I like that the school combines Western herbal medicine and Chinese and Ayurvedic medicines. I think that that's fantastic. Wonderful. I love preteen. Yeah. Buckle up, girl. Buckle up. That's what I'm saying. Preteens until maybe they're 17 or 18. Oh my God. Hey, Ralph. Welcome. Hello. All right. Yeah. Keep going with the questions. I'm sure that I was going to say I wasn't that bad of a kid. I wasn't, but I'm sure that to my mother, I was a nightmare. And I felt like she was a nightmare. It was just a hard time. The battle of the wills, good Lord. And it's just part of that individuation process, right? That we have to figure out ourselves, and we have to do whatever it is that our parents aren't, so that we can find our own identity and be our own person. And you say yes, I want to say no, you say no, I want to say yes, and you're always, oh God, I never want to be back that age ever again. Everyone's okay, you're talking to her. Good. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So any other questions on the witchiness? It's what, today's the 30th? Is that what today is? I have a crystal in my hand that I keep putting down, which is making noise. Today's the 30th. Is tomorrow the 1st? Or do we have 31 days in this month? We do have 31 days in this month. September. That's all I'm going to say. September is coming. Oh my God. I can't wait for the full on fall. I love it. So what's coming up, I don't have a date for it yet. I may do like I'll definitely do a pre-launch for the course, but I think that the next course that we are going to be offering will be a go at your own pace, not live course on cutting the cord ritual. Get a lot of questions about that, and there's a lot around that because there's, like I did a ritual for cutting the cord and it didn't work, and I don't know. So there's going to be a course on that that'll be at your own pace, on your own. It won't be live, and whenever you want. That's coming up. I think I did mention already, but for those of you who join later, our ancestral initiation live retreat is happening in 2 weeks. We still have, we actually have 2 spots available for that. One is a shared room in a bunk bed that's quite lovely. And then the other is a single, private room. I think both are shared bathrooms, if I'm not mistaken. Beautiful place. If you go to the website and you go to the link, I can put it up here. Actually, I'm going to try to do that. You can see what the space is down below, but we're going to be pretty much ritualing the entire time. We're going to work on establishing a council of well ancestors that we can work with in terms of our personal healing, but also working on healing the ancestral line. We're going to identify and work with what our specific purpose and our specific identity within the ancestral line is and initiate ourselves into that. We're going to be doing some gorgeous ritual art that I'm so excited about. And we're going to eat amazing food throughout the entire weekend. So let me see if I can pull up a little linky dink. And of course, we've got still a few of our mystery boxes left. I know a few of you have already purchased them who are in the box. Or in the chat box. Hey Iron, how are you? I have been digging into the creative process with art lately. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, wait, because I missed a comment. Because Curls and Pearls says art therapy has done wonders for my son, and he used that since he was little, and now we're both art supply junkies. Oh, I love it. Beautiful. Art is such a great process. And when I was just mentioning it without even knowing that you were talking about that, when you do it as a ritual act where we're almost going to be doing like a shamanic journey while we do, and we create these pieces that will eventually become the centerpiece to an ancestral altar. It's transformative. It's quite beautiful. So I'm excited about that. Jamie S says, I would love to see a course on sigils. That's coming as well. I've just started learning a bit about them, and it would be awesome to dive deep. Yeah, I definitely, a sigil class is absolutely on the list. And part of the challenge for me has been that it really ties into some deeper, a little bit, I'd hate to say advanced work, but a little bit more advanced work. And so what I think I'm going to do, I just don't know quite how to do it, is to create a sigil class that you go at your own pace. And then if you wanted to kind of do the extra, that would be an extra class available only to people who have already taken the sigil class. Because sigil work and servitor work for me and egregore work for me are really tied in. And I don't know how to talk about certain aspects of different types of sigil work without going into that. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with the background of it all. But it's coming. In one form or another, it's coming. Yes, Iron, you need to come. Yes, sigils. Will the retreat in 2 weeks ever be offered online? No, because of the nature of the ritual. Like, we're doing a ritual together. This is like the kind of work that we do like in covens, and it's going to be beautiful, but there's an enactment, there's a blessing, there's a challenge, there's a lot that goes on here, and it's important to be in space with each other while also witnessing each other going through this transformation. So no, this is not the kind of thing that I would do live. It just wouldn't translate. There comes a point, right, where virtual is phenomenal, but it doesn't really deliver the things that we need to do. So like that. So Denise, girl, there's a space available. The bunk bed shared room is with another woman, and that's $13.50. We're going to be together Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we'll have breakfast on Monday, and then we leave at like 11. And then the single private room is $1,500. That includes all the meals, that includes all the art supplies and the ritual supplies, and the space. Southern California, by the way. Sophia's Temple, hello, says, I discovered recently that my Romanian great-grandfather Dimitri, I love that name, was adopted by a Greek couple, so ancestral work would be really awesome. Isn't that beautiful? You'd have both. That's gorgeous. Excuse me. Crafting My Life says, wait, no. I skipped. Oh, you're welcome, Iron. Okay, now I'm Crafting My Life says, egregores and servitors. When you can, would you tell us what interesting book title on this topic? So hold on, let me think really quick, because I don't know that there's an actual book that's specifically just on servitors, but there is a book. I want to say his last name is Kavanaugh, but I don't know. That may not be a true story. But if you look on Amazon, there's a book called Egregores, or you can look at Llewellyn.com. I think it's published by Llewellyn. Egregores as a book gives you the definition of what an egregore is and some examples of what an egregore is, but it's not. Here's the thing, and I think I've actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think I've actually done a booktube review on that book. I read it like maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. It's the only book out there that is completely dedicated to egregores. It gives you some history. It wasn't enough, but if you know nothing about egregores, it's great in that way. The other book that talks about it, but in a chapter and not extensively, but I love that she brought this up. Oh my God. Oh, what is the name of the book? I think it's Urban Magic, Urban Witchcraft. And I cannot believe I'm forgetting her name because she did another book that I loved. But Urban Magic or Urban Witchcraft, Urban Magic, I don't know, one of those two. What chapter was it in? Well, and I think I talked about it over the weekend. She wrote a chapter on what egregores of a place are, right? Did I mention that over the weekend, where you go into one city as opposed to another and they all have a little bit of a different vibe because collectively we have fed the overall energy that then becomes an egregore of the town or the area that you live in? I think I talked about that over the weekend. Anyway, she talks about that, and it's Urban Magic or Urban Witchcraft is the name of the book. A chapter on that. But the other book is Egregore, and I cannot. No. I think it's Mark McTavish or Mark Tavish. I don't know. But if you look for Egregore, I think there's only one book that's going to come up. Okay. Where am I? I always lean forward. I don't know why I lean forward like I'm about to. Jamie. Okay, hold on. I read that. I read that. Ooh, I'm jealous. I hope I can just fly on a broom and be there to join the ritual. I know that'd be great. Yes, thank you, Izzy, Diana, Rachel. Yes, Urban Magic by Diana, Rachel. Thank you, both of you. Emran says curls candles are like books. There's a story about me. Crafting, you're welcome. Alexis, oh, there we go. I love that you all know these things. It's so great. Elena, do you know this book? Which one? The Urban Magic one? What? Wait. Where are you at? Did I miss something? Sophia says, I'm a McTavish. There is a, I'm feeling, there's an IG account by a guy who is I guess a tour guide in Scotland, and his stories on IG or his reels or whatever they are just so glorious. So I have just been like swimming in the vibe of Scotland. So McTavish and all these great names feel very Scottish to me, but are they Irish? They might be Scottish, yeah. Jamie says, you're thinking Egregores by Mark Stavish. There you go. Okay, it's Mark Stavish. Thank you. I saw your review and have the book. Beautiful. Okay, great. It is by Taylor Ellwood. I'm familiar with Taylor Ellwood, Walking with Magical Entities, but I don't know that book. I don't know that book. I know quite a few of his books actually, but not that one. So I'll check it out. Let me write it down. Because that might be, it sounds like that might cover egregores or servitors, maybe. Walking magical entities. I'll check it out. Thank you. Yeah, because what books do I know of his? I've got somewhere buried in my piles about 3 or 4 of his books, but not that one that I can remember. Like that. Any other magical things going on in your lives? I am still vibing the whole new moon energy. I'm almost done with my latest bottle of new moon mist spray because I'm that extra. And yeah, I feel like this full moon is going to be a little extra as well. So it's nice that we have a little bit of a lead up so we can prepare. Sophia's Temple says, yes, Scottish, but we are descended from Irish kings. Ooh. I'm actually a Fraser and my mom's dad's side, maternal grandfather. I love it. Somewhere, I think that in my my DNA mapping or whatever on ancestry.com, I think I'm like 3% Scottish. I don't know where that came from because 80 something% of my entire thing is from the Iberian Peninsula, either Portugal or Spain or both, and Basque. So that whole nugget peninsula is me. And then you've got like a couple percentage points Scottish, and the rest is North Africa, I think. They're pretty localized, my peoples. Sophia says my 4th grandson was born 13 days ago. Oh my God, congratulations. That's beautiful. Oh, wonderful. Girls and Pearls says I've been using everywhere. I've finished deep cleaning. Oh, the spray. Oh my God. I'm kind of glad that I sent out the recipes for all of you, because they are a lot to make, but I'm getting ready to make myself a whole new batch because I love the scent. And I think I was talking to Emily last Friday. We were talking about it, I think, on our live, where, I mean, I spray myself with it. So I smell like each lunar phase, right? I smell like that lunar phase. I know. Congratulations. That's a wonderful thing. Beautiful. Beautiful. So I've given you all of my announcements. Any other magical questions, spiritual questions? Just because we talked about it out loud and we're talking about egregores and servitors, the first incarnation of harvesting the honey, I don't know that anybody here has gone through it. It was several years ago now, so it's an older group. There was a section on servitors and egregores. So now I'm just thinking out loud. This has nothing to do with any of you. But it might make sense to pull that out of there and then just take, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to write that down right now. Just make it a whole separate thing so that you've got harvest and you've got, what is the thing? Yeah. Okay. All right, there you go. Thank you. You don't even know what you did, but thank you for the help. All right. I'm thinking, why am I a ginger? That it was my maternal grandfather where I got my red hair. I love that you have red hair. Happy babies. Yeah. Jamie says, oh my God, the new moon mist smells amazing. I'm trying to conserve it. It's hard. It is hard. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard. I've got like a quarter of my new moon spray bottle left. I need to find a bigger chunky bottle, so I can just make it once every few months and go. There was a woman, I don't know if she's here right now, so I'm not going to name her, but she's a big fan, and because I wasn't making anymore, I don't know how she did it, but she conserved it for like several years. Like she'd go, this is my imagining, that she would just go like, so she would only use a little bit and never like go through the whole thing. So that when I just released these, now she's like, I am down to my last drop of, I don't know which one. It was very sweet. So she stocked up. She bought like 4 or 5 boxes. And I said, girl, you don't have to buy all of these. You have the recipe, but I get that it's a little different. I've been using everywhere. I read that. Merida, I love that name. How can I best communicate with my spirit guides, and how do I know it's them and not random spirits? You know it's them because you set the parameters for who you're letting in or who you're looking to engage in. There's always room for doubt, but it's important to be very, very clear in terms of the space that you set, in terms of the way that you call it in, or in terms of the way that if you're doing it through a shamanic journey and you're going into a space, that it's a space that you have very specifically created for yourself that will only allow this particular entity in. It's very rare, unless we've done something, to have like an entity that is hyper invasive break through those barriers, because energy attracts energy. So if we set up the energetic magnetic for what we're calling in, then that's usually what's going to meet us. And by that, I mean, be super specific, not like, oh, if you want to be my guide, come on over and let's talk. No, you get super specific about exactly who you're calling in, exactly who can come in, and no one else can. So it's really about your exercising your sovereignty and how you set up the space, and how clear you are about exactly what you're meaning and what you're calling in. And then you can, if it's a guide that you've worked with before, or here's the thing, let me just back up. Oftentimes we want a guide. We don't know who we want, but we want a guide. We want someone to help us in the spirit realm. Rather than not know and go in and say, I just want someone to guide me. Will you be my guide? Like the little duck. I don't even know what story it is, but the duck is like, are you my mommy? Are you my mommy? Right? Like you're going to everyone like, are you my mommy? If you approach it that way, you don't know what you're going to get. And it's very easy to have someone say, yeah, I'm totally your guide. But their intentions might not be well, or they may not be the kind of guide that you need. And so in situations like that, where you're not sure who you're really calling, you're just looking for a guide. I like to go a different route where if I work with a deity, I ask for help. I ask the deity to help me find the guide that's right for me, especially on the path that I'm on, because I've been working with the deity specifically around things. Or I would ask an ancestor that you've had contact with, that you've had relationship with, and you trust, and ask for assistance in finding that guide if you're just wanting a guide, but you have no idea who you're calling. Does that make sense? So I hope that that was helpful. Okay. I know, I can't wait for the new Harvesting the Honey too. It's getting a little unwieldy though, I have to tell you. It's probably going to be a year-long thing. The first one was like 7 months. This is going to be more of a go at your own pace, but there's so much there, and the way I recommend that you pace it would probably go through an entire year. Not that I think that's a bad thing, because I'm all about let's go deep, let's go long. But it's getting pretty big. All right, I read that. Talking about crazy dreams, Camilla, right now my dreams have taken a weird turn. And I think that we're already feeling the stirrings of the planets because, yeah, I woke up this morning and I had to immediately transcribe the entire dream because I didn't want to lose it, but also because it was just so, my nervous system was so rattled by it. Like it wasn't a nightmare, but the whole thing was just so very different than how I normally dream and what normally comes up for me, that I was just like, I need to put this all down. I can't like miss a word, and I don't want to write this much. And so I just transcribe, which is great. With the phone, you can do transcription, which makes life easier. But I think we're going to see a lot of that everywhere. Let's see. I missed why people are sorry, so I don't know what I missed here. Are egregores related to spirits of a place? They can be, yes. Hold on. They're different things. No, they're different things. They're spirits of place. And then egregores can be a thought form come to life or come to entity form over the culture of a place, not the land, the culture. It's different. The collective culture that everyone in that space comes to. And the best example that I can give, which isn't a good example if you don't live in Southern California, is if you drive up and down the beach, right? San Diego has got a very different vibe than, let's say, Huntington Beach further north. And Huntington Beach is super different in terms of the city and the people and the culture. Very different than Long Beach, than Marina del Rey. Like each time you go into each of these towns, like if you're from Southern California and you're from beach towns, there aren't really words for it, but you feel it. It's a different vibe, not bad, just like different. The way we do things, the way we speak, the way we like things move in that town just happen to be different. And that is a collective result of the people. But then over time, the people feed this collective notion of what this culture is. And out of that, an egregore forms. It is now a guiding force in the way that that culture manifests itself in that town or in that space. So it's not based on the land, it's based on the people that have congregated in that area. So it's like a mutual creation, if that makes any sense. Okay, Ralph says, kind of off topic, but do you recommend a certain type of Kindle, Paperwhite? They have so many types now. Oh, it's in the garage. No, I can't tell you because I was so anti-Kindle for so long, and then my husband got me a cool one this was what important. He got me a Kindle that I guess attaches to Wi-Fi, obviously, because that's how it downloads books. I don't know anything about Kindles. But it was important that if I was going to use them in any way, shape, or form, that they would be water resistant, because I like to read with Kindle in the bathtub. So I've got that, but I don't know anything else. There's paper white. I guess it's like a different type of screen. Don't ask me. I'm not, obviously I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I think that we have other Kindle readers here that can help you. He just gave me one. It's small, it's cute, it works, and that's the extent of it. I do know that I prefer the Kindle to my iPad for reading because of the screen, and it's so shiny, right? You can't really read on iPad like in the sun or outside. Okay, I used to... So we have a fellow Grey sister in Emerence. I love it. I still dye my hair. This is Izzy. Thinking of getting like umber like Elena. It looks so cool. Thank you so much. Well, this is like effortless. I just don't even dye my hair anymore, and that's why it's ombre, right? Like, and the cool thing is that as it grows longer, because your hair, each hair grows at a different pace, that harsh line starts to soften a little bit. Because remember in the beginning, that 1 inch, it was like a straight harsh line. Over time, if you have patience, it softens up. I'm going to read this out loud because it might be helpful for all of us, and it's definitely going to be helpful for me. Emerin says, if you don't have Prime member sign up for the free trial before you buy, I think Prime is worth it because you get Prime Video and a free Kindle ebook every month. Oh, there's that. Yeah. Hi, Marie. How are you? Marie says, if one comes forth, but we misinterpret it for another entity like Morrigan or Hecate or Odin at one... once I thought it was Odin once, but then it turned out to be Hecate. If you're talking about deities, over time they reveal themselves. There can be moments where you're just like, I think, is it her? Is it him? What? Over time, they will reveal themselves. So I wouldn't worry about that. For the most part, I can't think of a single deity that we typically work with that's going to come forth in a way that is harmful for you. There are, of course, exceptions, but it's rare. I have yet to hear anyone have that experience. But what I do hear a lot is that there's a misinterpretation of who's showing up. They will reveal themselves. And one of the things you can do is ask over and over and over again, right? Like, are you so-and-so? Are you so-and-so? Especially to start the flow of dialogue going back and forth. But the other thing is that usually if you're not asking for a deity to come forth, sometimes there's a deity that's kind of stalking you in like the best possible way. They're like, hello, I'm here. And in that sense, if you're not looking and they're looking for you, it's also easier for you to misinterpret who it is that's showing up. So Emerence continues and says, and there's a discount if you buy the version of Kindle Fire or Fire Kindle with the ads. Oh, interesting. I pay extra to not watch ads, but the Kindle ads are not an issue at all. Like video? I don't get video on mine, I don't think. I wish I had mine here so I can show it to you. It's kind of cute, but they're all kind of cute. Izzy says, I feel, Elena, I just had a very vivid dream and it's still thinking about what it means. Me too. Mine was really bizarre. And it's interesting. It was like the kind of dream that could definitely be a night. Maybe it is a nightmare. I didn't wake up freaking out, but I just very confused. Like, wow. I need to sit with that. I got the paper. Okay, Paperwhite edition is amazing. Crafting my life. Wow. Thank you so much, Elena, for this specification. I work a lot in shamanic terms with the genius Loki. But I am really intrigued now by the egregore theme. It's an interesting theme. I think that more than anything, what I get out of it is the capacity that we have for imbuing something with life, right? Egregores are typically, no, in fact, all the time, egregores are made by groups of people. It's not something that you would do singularly, but if you do something singularly, then it's a servitor. So we have the capacity to create entities in this way. And similar to why I love working with sigils, it really speaks to our potent capacity for creation and how powerful we truly are and how powerful intention can be. And dovetailing into what we were talking about over the course of the weekend, when you do something like this with numbers, with other people, just how much more powerful it can be. All of that to me is super affirming and encouraging and exciting. Yeah. Girls and Pearls. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, I'm not reading anymore on the Kindle. Okay, that's you guys talking to each other. Emerance, yes, keep asking because I thought I had a banshee and it turned out to not be, but very helpful. Good. Girls and Pearls says, I'm still trying to find out who sent me my kitty. Was having a horrible time when the whole Dark Knight soul started. Was pleading for a sign, and sure enough, a black kitten popped up on the freeway. Oh, on the freeway. Oh my god. What a seat. But I'm glad you have a kitty. Do you mind giving us the name to see what you called the kitten? And what time is it? Oh, you got 5 more minutes because Mom's got to run. The Kindle ads are just pictures of things. Oh, I think I have that, but I get pictures only of books. If you change your settings instead of being on the screen in standby. I like my little Kindle. It makes me, it reminds me of the beach because usually it's when we're at the beach that I have it with me. Izzy, yesterday I was at the office and I just had the weirdest thing. I dozed off, but I could see someone coming to me and called out my name. That's interesting. I tried to open my eyes but couldn't. Curls and Pearl says, best worst decision running on the freeway. On the freeway to get her. She's brought hope it won't last forever. I mean, you never know. You never know. Hope is always there. Claudia says, I had a dream the other night where I got pulled out to sea and I was asking for help from family knowing that they either couldn't or wouldn't help me. Those are so hard. Those are hard dreams because they really, sometimes it can feel so draining when you're awake. You're like, I didn't rest at all because of the stress of the dream. It was scary, but at the same time, I knew I had to save myself. Beautiful. Pancake? Oh, her name is Pancake. It's what the vet at the 24-hour click and I decided on. Beautiful. Oh, that's very sweet. I know this morning, I had a moment and I was having breakfast, so I was looking through Instagram stories on, basically if I'm on Instagram scrolling, I'm scrolling through animal videos. That's basically what I do as a little like side soother. And it was just so many cute little kitten videos. Just like, oh my god. Everyone says hope will last as long as you want to have hope. No, and even when we don't want to have hope, hope is there. Hope is a beautiful thing, I think. All right, my loves, that was the end of today because I got to get out of here by 2 today. Lots to do. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time is when I'll do the live Q&A for the Moon Mist box, for the Witches box. You don't have to have the box to be part of that. It's about asking questions. We'll be talking about the moon. We'll be talking about the sprays. We'll be talking about moon rituals if you want, whatever it is, questions, you bring them and we'll talk about it. So similar to this, only a little bit more focused. And then on Friday, we have our live guided meditation at also 10 in the morning Pacific time. So like that. She loves waffles. Oh my God. I know. I missed the Zoom meeting where we can see everybody's face too, Marie. But this is, I think I've kind of I've not overcompensated, but I've compensated for that missing with these virtual retreats. So I got to see all sorts of beautiful faces over the course of the week and it was amazing. I'm late to the party, Renee. We're about to go. I'm so sorry. But love to all of you. Have a wonderful week. I will see some of you, hopefully all of you tomorrow, if you can, at 10 o'clock Pacific, and we will talk again. All right. Mwah. See you later.